Warning, we sometimes use swear words on this podcast. Hi, we're on cue.
I'm Liz. I'm a music supervisor.
I'm Trish. I'm a film director, and we are going to dish about music and movies and life.
And Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's Thanksgiving this week here in the United States. Liz, how do you feel about Thanksgiving?
I'm not a fan, but I'm not an American, so I never celebrated Thanksgiving growing up, and I'm a real Christmas person. How about you?
Yeah, I'm a real Halloween person, as we all know. I also love the winter holidays. I'm always down for an opportunity to get together with loved ones and eat, but I am also not a huge fan of Thanksgiving. I don't love Thanksgiving food. I'm not a big turkey eater, and I don't like cranberries and stuffing and yams, and I'm well aware of how fraught the messaging and colonialist overtones of Thanksgiving are. So, that feels a little weird.
Yeah, that feels really weird.
Yeah.
I want to go back to the food.
Okay.
Because I don't mind that kind of dinner. That's fine. I don't get the sweet potato and the marshmallow and the maple syrup. What the fuck?
Gross.
Is that going on in a dish?
Orange juice in your carrots, green beans with onion soup. I don't like any of that shit.
I don't really like that.
No. I don't like pecan pie. I do.
I do. I love it.
Well, that's right, because you're into that. What is that tart that you make?
Mince pies.
Yeah, fuck that shit. I don't like any of that.
No.
Nope.
On our Christmas episode, I'm going to bring maybe a Yule log in and a mince pie.
I do like a Yule log. And listen, I will, like a good soldier, taste your mince pie, but I can guarantee you I will hate it. Okay. But anyway.
Thanks for your open mind. Today, we're going to talk about music and Thanksgiving.
Well, yeah, just full transparency. We talked about what we could do this episode, and we were like, should we give people interesting playlists that they could potentially play at Thanksgiving dinner? Are there going to be weird groups of people thrown together around a table? What are you going to play for music? There were a lot of ways we could go with this. Liz, tell everybody what we decided to do.
I made a playlist. I've been listening to a lot of Indigenous artists over the last few weeks. I put a big playlist together of about 18 artists. And I wanted to talk about a few of them today.
We hope this doesn't seem pandering, but I feel like we live in one of the most beautiful places on earth, and we should probably honor the people that came before us. Whether you see it as us stealing their land or taking over their land, this is not the new world. This was a world that had been fully experienced before us. And so, I don't know, we thought it might be nice to do an exploration into Indigenous music this year. Neither of us are experts.
We're not experts. I've spent some time over the last 3 or 4 weeks discovering some new Indigenous artists. There were several that I knew, but I also discovered a world of amazing music that I wasn't aware of.
You really went down a rabbit hole, and I am grateful to you for that. You found some very cool stuff.
Yeah, I've got a playlist which we'll put in our show notes. But today, I think we're going to showcase a handful of those tracks, and it was really hard to whittle it down. We wanted to showcase a variety of styles of music.
It's very far-ranging, from very folksy stuff to very hip-hop stuff. And
death metal.
Oh, death metal. We've got everything in there, and so it's been really cool.
Yeah, this was a joy to do.
It was really fun. So kick us off. What's the first track we're going to highlight?
The first track is called Nations by Saucony. Let's play it.
Haters start to hate too much. Grandma said grab that sage and we gon' smudge. Our people got dragged through the mud. Had to brush it up cause we had enough. Native people spread that love. Gather amongst each other, giving our hugs. Strawberry juice in my cup. Give me the strength. Now I'm way cut.
I mean, it's very catchy and funky.
Yeah. This track was released last year. Saucony is a rising Afro-Indigenous Canadian artist and producer. He's based in Vancouver.
From the Squamish Nation, I believe.
That's right.
Yeah.
And he makes hip-hop and R&B about real-life experiences. Do you know something? He's a semi-professional lacrosse player.
Interesting.
But he's also the co-founder of the BYRC recording studio in Vancouver. And that offers free recording, mixing, all of those kind of things, mastering, music production for youth. So he's kind of set that up. And he hopes to see himself having a bigger platform where his voice is heard so that he can create more opportunities for the less fortunate people and the ones around him. And he's super talented.
Yeah.
I think he's definitely an artist to watch. I immediately tuned in when I heard this track. I loved it. I thought, this is very cool. I want to play this one.
I love it. Great find. What
Thank
a way
you.
to kick it off. It's got so much spirit.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
The next track is by Equal, featuring Boogie the Beat.
Yep.
And it's called Waniska.
What if it all came down to losing all that we own? Back to the earth where we all come from. I wouldn't be surprised and I wouldn't be saved. We're all so insignificant, drowning in the waves. We need to wake up, wake up, wake up. We need to wake up, wake up, wake up.
She's cool.
Very cool. This track is from 2017. Her first release was in 2005.
Oh, she's been around a long time.
She's been making music for a long time. Her latest album was released in June of this year, but I love this track. I know it's a few years old.
Right.
She's a Canadian rapper and singer from the Muscadet Nation in Saskatchewan. She's currently a PhD student in the Indigenous Studies Department at the University of Saskatchewan.
Cool.
And she was the university's, listen to this, first Indigenous storyteller in residence.
That's pretty
I think that's really cool because she's like a musician, but she's also an academic.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
She's a smarty.
She's a smarty pants, isn't she?
Yeah, yeah. Now, am I right that Waniska is the word for wake up? That's what
Yes.
it means, right? And she says that in the song. I mean,
Yeah.
she says wake up a number of times.
She's also a political activist and she focuses on Indigenous culture and the struggle.
I love her.
In her lyrics. I do too. Really interesting music, actually.
Yeah.
There's a real wealth of stuff to explore there as well. So if that tickles your fancy, dive deep into Equal.
Yeah, follow her. Add her to your
And it's Equal,
rotation.
EEKWOL.
WOL. Yeah.
Yeah.
Equal. Okay, who's next?
Frank Wayne, What Made the Red Man Red? This is a tune.
Teach 'em all about Red Man, Red Man.
Your history books, your holidays, Thanksgiving lies and Columbus Day. Tell me what I know more than the teacher. Tell me what I know more than the preacher. Tell me why you think the red man is red, stained with the blood from the land he bled. Tell me why you think the red man is dead, with the fake headdress on your head.
I like the energy in that
Very
one.
powerful.
Yeah.
Frank Wayne is a Lakota hip hop artist from the Rosebud Reservation in South Dakota. And as you can hear, that samples really heavily What Made the Red Man Red, a pretty racist song.
Absolutely.
From Disney's Peter Pan from 1953.
I mean, way to sort of reclaim it and reframe it.
Yeah. I mean, he raps about his own experience as a native man and the disrespect people have for his people.
Did you read this? That he got into music because he found an Eminem CD by the side of the road?
No, I didn't read that.
I think he was, in middle school or something, and he was walking home or walking somewhere. He found a dusty old Eminem CD by the side of the road and started listening to Eminem, and this spurred an interest in rap and hip hop and rapping about your life and expressing yourself through music. And that was his, how
he got into it.
That's what I read.
Wow.
I mean, again, I'm no expert, so that could just be mythology, but
Yeah, but
it's a cool story.
well, he says, like most Indigenous people, he's been directly impacted by settler colonialism. His great-grandparents and many others, they lived on the reservation. They lived through those federal boarding schools as children. I just watched the documentary Sugarcane, which is about the investigation into abuse and missing children at an Indian residential school.
Yeah.
The school was run by the Catholic Church. And a lot of people are saying it's on everyone's shortlist for the best film at the Oscars.
Yeah, people
and
are
whatever.
really
And it's a
into it.
really powerful film. It's set near the Sugarcane Reserve. It's still ongoing. There's a massive investigation into it, but it's all about the community. They're working to break the cycles of generational trauma.
Yeah.
And
No,
they've
we've done some real damage. That's why it's a little hard to celebrate this holiday, knowing that it was really based on a lot of mistreatment of people.
It's great to have music out there that is just still bringing that to everyone's attention.
Yeah,
Not
I
letting us
agree.
forget that.
Yeah, thanks.
So the next one is by a band that maybe a bunch of us know because they've crossed over a little bit. They're called The Hallucination. And this is a track from quite a while back called Electric Powwow Drum.
Okay.
So the Hallucination were formerly known as a tribe called Red. They kind of have a lot of different styles. They have hip hop, reggae, dubstep, and then they have elements of First Nation music. Lots of vocal chanting, as you can hear on that track, and drumming. This track was from 2013, and their music has been labeled as powwow step.
Yeah, I'm just starting to become aware after you sharing this with me that there's this whole movement of powwow step that is this kind of combination of electronic and dance music with indigenous beats and some of the
it's contemporary powwow music in the urban First Nations club scene. That's what it is.
So cool sounding.
Super cool.
Very hooky and very infectious. I love it.
They've won lots of awards for their music. I think they did a TED Talk in 2018
Yeah,
as
they're
well.
big.
And their music's been featured in a lot of TV shows. They were in The Good Lord Bird, this track, actually, just this track. They've had music in Reservation Dogs.
Such a great
that
show.
series.
Yeah.
And Killers of the Flower Moon, which I thought was an amazing
It was
film.
amazing.
They also composed the music for Rutherford Falls, which was about members of a northeastern town and a fictional Native American tribe. And that's on Peacock. I was torn. It was between this track and this other track called Voices Through Rubble, which is a track they released a few months ago.
To sleep through bomb blast and awaken to dust, born of a concrete womb, voices through rubble.
The Voices Through Rubble track they released with Saul Williams and Narcy in solidarity with the people of Palestine. So that was out a few months ago, and that's worth checking out too.
Cool. All right, so now what? What have you got after that?
I've got an artist that actually I've been listening to for a few years. It's Black Belt Eagle Scout, and the track is called Soft Stud.
I really love this one.
So this artist I had as my record of the week a few years ago.
Really?
You know I do my own records of the week every week. This was a track that I had in my record of the week for 2018.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I can see why. She's so talented. I love her sound. Her family hails, am I right, from the Swinomish tribe, which is in the Pacific Northwest, and also the Inupiaq in Alaska, right?
That's correct, yeah. She's a Swinomish singer-songwriter.
I understand she also plays guitar, drums, like she's a multi-instrumentalist.
Yeah, she
She's
is.
So
let me tell you about Catherine Paul, who is Black Belt Eagle Scout.
Okay.
She was a jingle dress dancer at regional powwows with her family's drum group, the Skagit Valley Singers. When
that's
she was
pretty
very
hot
young.
stuff. That's pretty hot stuff.
That would be so cool. I think she has a Northwest kind of sound.
She
to her
absolutely
music.
does.
Yeah, she has that kind of Mazzy Star, Nirvana-y kind of feel
Yeah.
on her guitar.
Oh, yeah.
And I can really hear that.
Well, do you remember when I was saying that Frank Wayne found an Eminem CD?
Yeah.
I read that she found Hole and Nirvana tapes, like old cassette tapes at
Oh,
one point,
really?
and that's what turned her on to
That
music.
turned her onto that
and
kind
you
of thing.
can kind of hear that Northwest, like that Hole
Yeah.
and Nirvana sound in her.
You can hear it in
Yeah.
her music. She has just been diagnosed with RRMS,
Wow.
which is relapse remitting multiple sclerosis.
Yeah.
She has launched a GoFundMe page for medical assistance, which we'll put a link in the show notes.
Yeah. You know what would be nice this Thanksgiving? We could all give
all
a
make a
little
donation.
something. Yeah. We could all give a little something to Catherine's
GoFundMe page.
GoFundMe.
Yeah. We'll put that link in the show notes. And I think she's resting and rehabilitating for now. So there's no new music, no tours for a while.
Send some good vibes out to Black Belt Eagle Scout Catherine.
Yeah, she has quite a lot of music. I think she's great.
I love her sound.
Yeah, I do too.
I know we have more.
We do. We
Who's
have
next?
Black Braid is the band, and this track is called Warriors.
It's a great day for fire. It's a great day for the rock. It's the way I desire.
This is so damn hardcore. When I was looking into this and I saw that the lead singer, his name is Krieger, that the
John
fact,
Krieger.
right, John Krieger, that he sees the music as a connection to nature.
Yeah.
And like, it was just like so, we think of that as being so soft and squishy, and that this like black metal is nature. I mean, look, nature has a black metal side too.
Yeah.
Krieger, he's Mohawk.
Yes, John Krieger.
Yes.
Well, this is his first solo project. I think he was in a bunch of previous bands, but there is a growing Indigenous black metal scene in the US. I wasn't aware of this, but apparently it's getting big.
I wasn't aware of it either, but it makes a certain amount of sense. I'm not going to lie.
And he wrote and he tracked his first album, or played all of the instruments except the drums. His friend played the drums on his first album, but this is from his second album. His first album was on Rolling Stone's Best Metal Albums of 22
That's
list.
killer.
So this album is from Black Braid 2, which was out last year. And lyrically, which is kind of hard to often hear his lyrics, but he deals with themes of Native American history and connection to nature, as you said.
All right, we've got a couple more artists to talk about, right?
We do. We have Samantha Crane. This track is called Bloomsday.
Voice.
I do too. She's a Choctaw Nation musician and producer from Oklahoma, and she's been recording albums since 2009.
Yeah, she sounds seasoned. She knows what she's doing.
She does. In mid-2017, she was involved in 3 car accidents within 3 months.
What?
Yeah.
She
And
okay?
It left her in loads of pain, and she didn't have the use of her hands. But she dictated voice memos to her phone, which became the Small Death album released in 2020. This is from an EP that was released in 2021. And Samantha Crane says about this song, the song is an anthem of sorts about the possibility of each new, seemingly meandering and unimportant day. I use the reference to Bloomsday, born from James Joyce's Ulysses, as a substitute for any day, just a normal, nothing special any day. The song is meant to inspire the agency we have over our participation in any day. Although it feels like much of the time we are being pulled along in life, we have the instrumentality to find within us light and belief.
Well, shit, that's a message I needed to hear today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Thank you, Samantha Crane.
Yes.
And thanks, Liz. You got one more?
Got one more.
Okay, let's hear it.
This, I don't know. I don't think you'll be expecting this either. It's a band called the Res Tones, and it's called Skoden.
Play it. Like almost rockabilly sound.
They are. They're the kind of neo-rockabilly, psychobilly band. They're from Tucson. They were formed in 2019. I think you can hear some Link Ray influences in their guitar playing.
Absolutely.
Ace Restone, the singer, he reflects on his Navajo upbringing. I mean, I'd love to see them live because they're known for their
I bet
high
they're-
energy live shows. It kind of brings me back because I was a bit of a goth back in the day. And a lot of those psychobilly bands, like the Cramps and the Meteors, the Guana Bats, those kind of people have that kind of vibe.
Right.
And us goths, we were into those kind of bands too.
Sure. It crossed over.
It crossed over. And I can hear that reference to those sort of 80s psychobilly bands.
Me too.
In their music. So I thought they were cool. I thought it was great to just
fun.
throw them in there.
Totally different than some of these other guys.
Yeah.
We're going to put all of these artists, plus when I started doing some digging, I found a lot of the Quantum Tangle, who I thought was awesome, Digging Roots, Kelly Frazier, Lido Pimiento. We're going to put all of these people that we found, and we can't talk about all of them today, but there's a really cool, very wide-ranging playlist.
Which we're going to put up there. There are a couple of honorable mentions I want to throw out there. Link Ray, who I just mentioned, he invented like the power chord.
Yeah.
And you can hear that in that track. And you probably know the track Rumble.
Yeah.
It was used in Pulp Fiction and I think it was used in Warriors, probably the most well-known Link Ray track. His mum was from the Shawnee tribe.
Okay.
And then Redbone, Come and Get Your Love.
Of course.
Many of the members of the band were Native American, and you can see that in their costumes and their music and their art and all of those things, album covers and stuff. So
I love Come and Get Your Love. That's one
it was
of
a
my
massive hit.
Such
as
a
well.
good song.
And you know what? Redbone headlined the inaugural Indigenous Peoples Day event in October the 8th, 2018 at LA City Hall. So they definitely need a shout out.
You know that was a banger.
I know. So Trish, you've just given me this cocktail that has the most beautiful color. Tell us about it.
It is a cranberry red cocktail because it is Thanksgiving week and there is cranberry bitters giving it that beautiful color. I also put black walnut bitters in there. I used wild turkey. So it's turkey, cranberry, nuts, and then a little bit of lemon juice and quite a bit of fresh ginger, plus a little bit of sweet ginger syrup. So I'm going to be cheesy and call this the gratitude, because there's one thing we can all do on Thanksgiving, which is be thankful for whatever we have.
Yes.
Cheers.
Oh, crikey, that's got a kick.
It's, yeah.
Woo-hoo.
Like if you have to have some difficult interactions around your holiday table this year.
You need this.
This drink's like medicine. It tastes basically like I went into the medicine cabinet and just poured Robitussin over ice.
It kind of looks like that too.
It is really Robitussin colored.
Ooh, this is strong.
Yes.
It's very tasty, but it is strong. I like it.
Yeah. Well,
let's be grateful. What are you grateful for?
I'm really grateful for my family and my friends and you, and the fact that even though we didn't really want to make the podcast today because we were feeling a little blue, we got together and we did it, and I feel a lot better.
Yeah, I agree. That's exactly what I was going to say. So we're on the same page with that. But family, friends, happy to have you in my life and to be doing this podcast with you.
Same. Thanks. Liz, give us something you're into this week. What's your favorite thing?
My favorite thing is a documentary on Netflix called Will and Harper.
Oh, the Will Ferrell one with his friend?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet. Is it great?
It's really good. There's some kind of difficult moments in it, but Will Ferrell and his friend, Harper, good friend of 30 years, who was a head writer at SNL,
right,
decide to go on a road trip together after Harper comes out as a trans woman at 61. Really, it starts with Harper sending emails to all of her friends saying that she's come out and stuff. And really the road trip is to see whether this will affect their friendship. Mm-hmm. And also Harper Steele used to travel to loads of places in Middle America and stuff like that and loved going to bars and loved doing all those things. And part of the road trip is to see whether she can still go to those places, be accepted in those places.
And hang,
And they're her favorite places in America. So the film is it's sad, it's funny, it's beautiful. I mean, there are some really difficult moments to watch. Harper has a lot of grace throughout the film, and she gives Will Ferrell a lot of grace too, because there are some difficult moments. And I love the fact that Will Ferrell as well puts everything out there. You know, he's not perfect
Right.
on this journey, and we can see that in a few moments. And then there's a moment in Texas where he dresses up as Sherlock Holmes, and this particular restaurant, you get the free steak if you eat the 72-ounce thing.
Right.
And they have to go and sit up on a stage. And it's a really cringeworthy moment because there's a lot of unwelcome attention. He kind of breaks down later in the car, realizing that it put her in a really difficult position. And you see all these tweets come up on the screen of really nasty, vicious, horrible stuff about her.
That would be hard to watch.
It was. And he so wants to do everything to be supportive of her. But he does fuck up. And we do see warts and all how he fucks up, you know.
I think that's important.
I do too. I think
We're all so afraid of stepping in dog shit when it comes to any number of issues. And we're
Yeah.
afraid to say anything or do anything for fear of getting it wrong. And that might be well intended, but at some point we have to be willing to do it wrong and learn how to do it better and take
and
criticism and
he
still
does
keep
that.
trying.
There's another awkward moment at a Indiana Pacers basketball game where I think the governor of Indiana meets them and he acts really friendly and all of those, you know, while Will Ferrell's chatting to him, but he's an anti-trans person. And you see this kind of smug look he gives Harper, but Will Ferrell didn't know that he was anti-trans. And so after, he's like, I wish I'd have confronted him. I wish I'd have had that conversation with him. And you can see him kicking himself and feeling that he hasn't done his friend justice in that moment.
Man, we all know how these feelings go.
Yeah.
And these situations evolve. That was bold of them.
It
really.
is. And I don't think that Harper particularly wanted to do this at first. But I'm so glad that she did because there is so much love and affection in this film. You can see it in Will Ferrell's eyes, how much he loves his
loves
friend.
her, yeah.
The soundtrack is lovely. There's lots of music. It really jogs along. There's a really lovely use of Holocene by Bon Iver at the scene towards the end. Bon Iver is really, really difficult to clear. But they wrote a letter and they sent the scene to him and he said, please use the track.
Oh, I love that.
He loved it. So that was great.
That makes it extra special.
But there's something really cool as well. Halfway through the film, they reach out to Kristen Wiig. They start thinking about who could write us an end credits song, who could write a big song for this. And then they were like, Kristen, let's reach out to her. So they FaceTime her and she writes a song with Sean Douglas, who's Michael Keaton's son.
Did not know that.
Yeah. So they keep reaching out to her and she doesn't answer. And then you see the track at the end and there's a little video of her playing it. But it's a real great track. I think it's definitely a contender for the Oscars Best Original Song.
That would be very
I think we
cool.
might see it up there. It's
Okay.
a real tune. So definitely recommend watching it.
What a great pick. Thank you for putting on all of our radar if we weren't already thinking about it.
You're welcome. Trish, it's tarot time.
It is.
Now, I pulled and I shuffled the cards last week.
You want to do it again?
I
Did you
do,
like
actually.
that? Okay, let me pass the deck to you.
Please do.
All right.
Okay, I'm going again.
Maybe what we need is a card for holidays are tough for people. Whether you have to sit at a table with people who are very different than you or bring up subjects you don't want to talk about, or also just like if you've lost people that you love and it really makes you feel a lot of feelings
Yeah.
over the holidays. Like holidays are a tough time. So why don't we pull a support card for getting through the first of several holidays that might be hard for people? What'd you get?
I think I got a good one.
What?
The World.
Oh, big card. It is a good card.
It's a good one.
I mean, again, you know I don't like to frame them as good or bad.
I know, but I kind of like those ones that say the sun, the world, the something,
Well, they
rather
are
than a
big
5
cards.
of this and a 4 of that.
So the world card is the culmination of something. It's the end of a cycle, the end of a big cycle, and it's time to close the loop. Seeing the bigger picture, being the bigger people, rising up and getting a bird's eye view of what our lives are about and what the world is about and what our purpose is about and what it means to be us and be human and just kind of an ascendant, transcendent view of things. So be the bigger person this Thanksgiving, whatever that means.
I'll do my best.
Liz, record of the week. Send us off in style.
I have something special. As we've been listening to a lot of Indigenous artists this week, I have a new Indigenous artist called Ken Pomeroy. And the track is called Coyote. She's a 22-year-old Cherokee singer-songwriter. She started playing the baritone ukulele when she was 9. And I love this. She was inspired by John Denver at a young age.
That is awesome.
John Denver, I don't want to say he's a guilty pleasure because why should he be guilty?
Yeah, I'm not guilty about loving John Denver.
John Denver. I think he's an amazing songwriter.
I also didn't know there was a baritone ukulele, but I mean,
Yeah.
call me an idiot. I didn't know that.
Me neither.
Great. I can't wait to hear this.
This is great. Well,
tell us more.
She's had a bunch of tracks used in Reservation Dogs, and she also had a cameo in Twisters this year. And this is what Ken Pomeroy says. She says, music is so sacred for Native Americans. It has so many functions in traditional culture, religious ceremonies, healing ceremonies, work songs, game songs. There's so much rhythm and symbolism in our music, and it's rooted in pre-America. Right now, we're seeing this resurgence of Native people in all art forms, in business, in politics. It feels like we're reclaiming what's ours. I think there's a real soulfulness to her music, and she has a wonderful voice. She's a great storyteller, definitely an artist to keep in mind. I think she's fantastic, and I want to thank Karen Cloak at Concord for making this happen. I know we pre-record some of these episodes, but she played in LA last night at the Troubadour, and I hear it was a wonderful show. Yeah, Ken Pomeroy.
All right, Ken Pomeroy. I love this. I cannot wait to listen. Whoever you are, wherever you are, we wish you a happy Thanksgiving from all of us here at On Cue Incorporated.
Happy Thanksgiving.
And yeah,
We'll see you next Tuesday.
right on cue.
Honey, look out for the coyote sleuthing around the hens. Meet him with a stare, don't dare turn away. If you don't, he'll be back again. If you don't, he'll be back again. Your time will come. Your time will come.
Dining room fighting like our parents. There ain't no reason to hide. Crying coyote, look me in the eye. Under overhead light. Under overhead light.
In time, your time will come. Your time will come. I know I'm the coyote. I bite just 'cause I'm scared. Swallow my tongue and keep it there. Unlike you, nobody's ever cared. Unlike
On Cue is produced and edited by Kathleen Gallacher.